Today's topic is really, really important. We're going to be talking today about unintentional gaslighting and what you can say instead. Okay, so we all have heard about gaslighting, but what about unintentional gaslighting? And what can you do instead? So, what's gaslighting, first of all? Well, gaslighting is when somebody is doing something or saying something or engaging in behavior that is causing the other person to feel invalidated or think that they're crazy. In other words, making them think that whatever they're feeling, whatever they're hearing, whatever their experience is not their experience. They're dealing with a situation, right? And they go, okay, I heard that, I felt that, I saw that. And the other person goes, nope, that's not what it was, or that's not what you felt, or that's not what you heard. That's gaslighting. So it could go in any sort of direction, like you're misremembering that. You didn't feel that. You're overreacting. That's not what happened. Anything like that is gaslighting. And over time, when that happens, the person begins to feel a lack of self-worth or actually begins to think that they're crazy, begins to feel that their memory is clouded, begins to feel that their brain is fogged, all sorts of things. And it really can affect one's mental health, one's physical health. So that's what gaslighting is. But what is unintentional gaslighting? And if you're new here, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm a top 1% attorney. I'm also the best-selling author of the book, Slay the Bully, How to Negotiate with a Narcissist and Win. And I invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell because every day we are uploading brand new videos to help you feel more empowered and break free from that narcissist or high conflict personality in your life, whether it's professionally or personally. Let's dive further into this idea of unintentional gaslighting. So unintentional gaslighting can manifest itself in a lot of subtle different ways. It can be in a way that dismissing somebody's feelings, disrespecting somebody's feelings, or discounting or invalidating somebody's feelings or experiences in a way that's not intentional, just like what it sounds like, right? But it's still damaging. It's still causing an impact to the other person. And while the intent might not be malicious, the impact can be just as equally as damaging. So here are some examples. Some examples can be toxic positivity. And what's toxic positivity? Toxic positivity can be you're overly positive, you're generally positive, even though the situation doesn't call for that. So like, somebody's feeling really depressed or really down, and the person that they're telling this to says, well, everything happens for a reason, or hey, it could be worse. And then the person doesn't really feel validated. The person doesn't really feel heard. They got this like sort of platitude response instead of somebody who like actually heard them, or somebody just responds like, stay positive, you'll get over it, or just look on the bright side, look at all the other good things that you got to have. They're not feeling like they got heard, they got acknowledged, they got to somebody to kind of sit with them. There's sort of a difference between somebody who just wants to sit in toxicity with a person all the time, somebody who wants to do that for a period of time with you, but then also at least enough to be hearing you, acknowledging you, and seeing the colors of your emotion and the spectrum of your emotion and being there with you and then pulling you out of that, right? I did a whole video on toxic positivity, by the way, which you can definitely check out. That unintentional gaslighting can be that. So that's an example of that. And what can you do instead? You can say, I hear you, I see you, your feelings are valid, and I'm sorry you're going through this, and giving them positive reinforcement that you're hearing them, powerful phrases. and acknowledging their emotions and validating their experiences instead of just keep the faith or something like that. Or, another example of unintentional gaslighting might be something like you're overreacting, or it's all in your head, or you're too sensitive. Sometimes it's definitely a narcissist who's saying things like that, right? Like, is they're saying things to be hurtful to a person. But sometimes maybe people don't realize the depths of the situation or what's going on in a situation, and they're not realizing what's happening. And so they're saying these things to a person like, hey, come on, you're overreacting. And they're not understanding that a person isn't overreacting. They're not understanding that it isn't in a person's head. They are ending up gaslighting a person because they're not allowing a person to feel heard. They're not allowing a person to feel like their feelings matter. They're not allowing a person to feel acknowledged. And that's what this is about. When a person feels like they're not being acknowledged, when a person feels like they're not being heard, then they feel gaslit. Definitely not malicious. It might definitely be unintentional. When it comes through, it can be, as I said, just as damaging when that happens. That's another example of unintentional gaslighting. Anytime somebody is disregarding another person's opinions, that is an example of unintentional gaslighting. Another example of unintentional gaslighting might be just speaking in absolutes. You always do this or you never do this. Again, that's just kind of generalizing a person and putting them in a massive category that doesn't look to a whole person. When you do that, nobody is ever an always person or a never person. A lot of times these exaggerations are born out of frustration. A lot of times it's a form of gaslighting. Telling white lies can sometimes be a form of gaslighting. Sometimes you don't want to hurt a person's feelings, so you might say, oh, the party was boring. It can invalidate a person's feelings. Refusing to admit that their own memory is wrong, even if they're presented with evidence. I have seen this happen in court. I have seen this happen with attorneys themselves. They're just super stubborn. That's a form of gaslighting as well. What are the impacts of unintentional gaslighting? Increased distrust in a person, less willingness to confide in a person, decreased relationship satisfaction, increased risk for depression, increased problems in relationships, decreased worthiness in a person. I mean, all sorts of things, right? How do you respond to unintentional gaslighting? Call the person out on their behavior. Let them know this didn't feel good to me. I think that there's an issue here. This wasn't helpful. I think that this wasn't truthful. I think that, this was hurtful to me. Focus on your truth. If you know that something wasn't truthful, let them know. And know when it's your time to not be in a particular relationship anymore. Know when it's time for you to put your boundaries up, or just say, hey, maybe this is a relationship that needs to be, at level 2 or level 3 or level 4, like it, not so close to you anymore. Ask questions or consider the intent of a particular relationship, right? And be aware of your own language too. Maybe you have to take a look at your own behaviors sometimes and try not to unintentionally gaslight yourself. And also making sure that you are speaking in a way that is in integrity. I want to share a story from one of my clients who implemented these strategies in her workplace. She was constantly belittled by one of her colleagues who undermined her contributions and was dismissed by that colleague, and her ideas were being dismissed. And instead of retaliating or internalizing the negativity, she started using these validating techniques, something that I taught in my high conflict negotiation certification training. She says, Rebecca's advice truly transformed my interactions by validating my own experiences and calmly addressing the behavior. I reclaimed my confidence and gained respect in the workplace. So that's the kind of thing that you can do. Validation is a powerful tool for building trust and fostering healthy communication. When you learn how to ask for validation, when you learn how to step up, when you learn how to assert yourself, when you learn how to be that person, when you learn your own self-worth, then everything changes in your life. I encourage you to start with my Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet, which you can get at winmynegotiation.com. I definitely encourage you to join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I definitely encourage you to make sure that you like this video, make sure you share this video, make sure you subscribe here and hit that notification bell. Make sure that you watch the next video that I suggest that you watch, which is understanding emotional bullying techniques and overcoming their impact, which is another video that I have here on my channel. So it's understanding emotional bullying techniques and overcoming their impact. So thank you for tuning in today and investing your time, your personal growth, and your empowerment right here with us. We are building a community and we are building a whole team, an army of slayers who are ready to be powerful against high conflict personalities, against high conflict individuals. Take back your power. Until next time, remember that you have the power to transform your interactions and reclaim your narrative. Stay empowered, and I will see you in that next video. Remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life, and I will see you in that next video. Shopify helps millions sell billions around the world through their digital courses, through their digital products, at the touch of a button, on their smartphones, on social media, however they want, including me. At shop.rebeccazung.com, you can access your store from all over the world, just the touch of a button from your smartphones. Start accepting payments. Everything you need to sell online, manage orders, and develop relationships in one place and look fabulous doing it. Shopify is the commerce platform that is revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide, including my own, at shop.rebeccazung.com. So right now, what you need to do is sign up for a $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/bestlife, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/bestlife to take your retail business to the next level today. Shopify.com/bestlife. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you're feeling totally drained right now because energy vampires have got you down, sucked the life out of you, I get it. I've been so where you are. And I can tell you that therapy has been one of the best gifts I've ever given myself during the worst times of my life. It has taught me how to love myself again so that I can set the boundaries I need to so that I can feel like myself again. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, I encourage you to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, it's convenient, it's flexible, you can suit it to your own schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a therapist. And if you want to switch therapists at any time, you can. So find your sweet spot with BetterHelp. You just visit BetterHelp.com/negotiate today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/negotiate.